can we be more efficient in? And that's where the efficiency will override the tax increase base.
Yeah, I think, talking to Dan Melanson, and he points out that there are some things that were mandated by the province to have to look after, and there's other things we're not.
Right.
And we're involved in some things that were not mandated that are actually costing us money.
Right.
And so the question now is, well, should we continue doing this? If we don't have to, because we're taking money out of our pot,
Right.
it could be going towards things that we have to do.
Yeah.
Now, it's, you know, the Pioneer Manor situation. If everything else is being run privately or within a charity,
Yeah.
then should the city be pouring money into one
Exactly.
facility? If you don't have to. But this is this is where we get into, and maybe, I don't know, you might have engaged this someplace else, but we get into, there's certain things we have to decide as a council, meeting to meeting to meeting, but then there's other things we have to decide that are gonna be a vision
Right.
moving down the road.
Right.
And I think we mentioned this before in a couple of conversations.
Well, exactly, and you know what, we're getting back to Pioneer Manor. We have some businesses now that are running senior homes and long-term care homes.
Right.
And you know what, they're doing a great job. They have the expertise, they have the knowledge, they have the manpower, it's a good tax base for us. I'll tell you right now, if there was a vote in regards to Pioneer Manor, I would like to see Pioneer Manor being privatized and, you know, given to another business group to run and maintain, and we still have our tax base from it. I think it's a wise idea, because as you say, we're pouring money. I'm sure budget time, there's probably something else that I believe they just put an extension on, that's fine, the roof, and those are things that we needed. But then again, do we really want to be in the real estate business? You know, that's a question you have to ask.
Mhm.
And I don't think that's what the city's mandate is to you know, have all this real estate available.
And this is probably where one of the biggest issues is what is our mandate? I mean, it seems like a silly question to ask, you know, a group of councillors, but, okay, why have we been elected? What are our responsibilities?
Right.
Not what we'd like to control, but what are we supposed to be doing?
Exactly.
And I don't know if there's a clear definition of that
No.
anymore.
No.
We've kind of taken on so
exactly.
many different things that,
And that's why I truly believe that with a new council, a new mayor, we have to listen to the people. You know, like, there are people out there that have some really, really good points. We have to take those points, whether or not we can fulfill whatever they are bringing forward, but we definitely have to analyze them. And I think that's an area where we're not doing, okay? And we need counselors there to return calls, counselors to meet with business people. You have to be out in the community, you have to have your ears. And you know what, you have to be, as I mentioned again, honest. If you can't do it, you tell them you can't do it. If you can do it, okay, well, bring the plan forward, let's see what we can do. You might not get 100% what you want, but you know what? You might get 80% and the other 20 we can work with. So there's so many things that we can do, and I think that's an area where we're lagging in. And let's face it, we've had a lot of older counselors in there. Fine, they're set in their ways, they want this, they want that. But now, I think the time has come. Let's bring this city forward. And I'm very excited because I'm speaking to more people now. I'm ahead in my campaign. I'm doing very, very well in my campaign. And I'm out there to fight for the people in the city of Sudbury and also for my ward. But the whole city has to be gelled together and things have to happen, because I've watched this for a long time and I've followed it for a long time. And there are some nights at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning I toss and turn hearing of some of the things that are going on. And you want to be there to try and correct what's happening to the best of your ability.
yeah, and the only thing to do is run and let the people have their choice.
Exactly. And, you know, there's more and more people running now, but you have to understand, to be a good counselor, you have to have the time, you have to have the patience, you have to listen, and you have to communicate back to the people that are requesting with, you know what, I'm not afraid to get calls at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning if they are legitimate, okay, I'm not afraid of that. And there is a need, and you have to get back to them. And, because they are the people that are bringing this city, the tax base up in the city.
Yeah. Staying involved with the, with what's going on in the community, I guess the importance of the cans, town hall meetings,
Exactly.
things like that.
Exactly. You have to, you know, I think the cans are a great tool to work with. I think they're the eyes and ears, like in Coniston, they have one at Patay. And like I said, I'd like to see one in the south end looking after the Wanup area, like the south end area, to set up a can. And they are a real helpful tool for a councillor, I believe, because they meet regularly, they know what's happening in the community, and they work hard, and they're all volunteers.
And they appreciate the attention that council gives.
Exactly, exactly.
They attend their meetings and.
Absolutely, and I plan to attend every CAN meeting because it's important. You take a look what they did in Coniston. I believe Jimmy Sarger is the chairperson there. They've done a great job in Coniston, Wanapatay, and all throughout the whole area. I spoke to Councillor Fabio Belli, and he works very closely with his CAN. And there's development, and he's energized after meeting them because, you know, there's opportunities. And he's basically killing two birds with one stone, because where there has been a problem, a lot of times they can correct the problems, you know, in a certain area where they don't have to go to the councillor. So it's you work hand in hand with them.
No, and like you say, it gives you a different perspective too, because I guess if you're going to be open and honest, then you're going to welcome the cans giving you advice. If you're not gonna be open and honest, then you don't wanna have anything to do with the cans.
Right.
So,
Right.
so if you're going to attend the CAN meetings and you're going to have them give you input, then one of the things you have to be willing to do is listen to the input.
Right. Exactly.
And support them whenever
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
And also, I guess the good point is that it becomes an education for the members of the CAN, where they may want something that you may be able to explain to them why there's a problem
Right.
with what they're looking for.
Right.
That they have to look at a different direction because of certain things that exist that maybe they weren't aware of.
Mhm.
And that's, I guess I get to the point of saying, if councillors took that approach, saying, yes, when I sit down at the table tonight, this is my position on this issue. But then if somebody across the table gives me an argument that I hadn't considered,
Mhm.
if it is the swing consideration, I don't think I should be holding on to my position knowing
Exactly.
that argument exists.
Exactly.
But I may be, like you say, offending the person beside me.
Yeah.
We've already agreed kind of that we're
Yeah.
gonna support each
Yeah.
other, and I think maybe you're right, maybe new people sitting around the table would not have that, networking.
Exactly. You know, like, and you know what happens after a while, like, Joe might want something in his ward. Well, in order for Joe to get something in his ward, he has to sacrifice to Tom to make sure that he gets what he wants. You know, so it kind of changes the whole, that's where I think honesty and integrity comes into play, where, you know, you make your mind up, whether it's right or wrong. Sure, you can sway, like you maybe by listening, and maybe there's something that you didn't see or catch at the time,
Yeah.
where you can, you know, make a change in plans or mind. But, you know, but you have to be straightforward.
And that's not a sign of weakness,
No, exactly, no, it's,
it's a sign of leadership.
that's something
to me.
that came up that you didn't know about,
Yeah,
you know?
so it's, you know,
Yeah.
why didn't you know about it? Well, that's not the point, the point is I
Yeah.
didn't.
Right,
I've often said, you know, if you talk to anyone who gets a speeding ticket, ask them if they would have continued driving that fast, if they would have known that the police officer was there with a radar gun.
right, exactly.
So if they would have known that information, they wouldn't have got a ticket.
That's right, that's right. And you know, another area, Robert, that is a major concern is, I like to see council work more closely with our hospital system and our university and colleges. I think it's important. I don't know how effective our city has been working. Like, you drive up to Laurentian University, it's like a little city up here, it's beautiful, you know, it's,
It's a whole other
and,
world up there.
you know, is there anything, is there that communication, what, you know, where city council and Laurentian Board of Governors, like, did they get a lot, is there discussion, like, I don't hear too much of that going on, or the hospital system. You know, I take a look at that hospital system, and sometimes I cringe, you hear so many horror stories, but just the parking facility alone,
Yeah,
okay?
makes you wanna stay healthy, doesn't it?
Well, there's no question. I parked my vehicle one afternoon for 3.5 hours, and I watched these poor people who are going into Emerge, parking their vehicle about a mile away, and I'm sure they stop probably 10 times before they get into the front door. Some of them probably don't even get to the front door. So, and I even wrote articles about that. I said, why can't we look at some type of a shuttle service, okay? We have security people there. What would it take to get some type of little vehicle with a trailer or something
Going back and forth.
going back and forth? At the same time, they're doing their security, they're checking on cars, they're checking on the parking lot, but help these poor people walk across that parking lot. You know, a beautiful hospital, big hospital, but parking, like, I've never seen, you go to any other city, this is the worst city for parking that you've ever want to see for a hospital system.
No, I totally agree. Those are, and you know, those are issues that I think as counselors, because they deal with quality of life, and they deal with the little things that are important to people. But, you know, I often say to people, yeah, you know, we've got certain major issues and that have to be addressed, but it's the little things. It's, you know, I can't get out my driveway because the snowbanks are so high, I can't see around the
right.
corner, or, you know, or
Yeah.
the pothole that hasn't been repaired for 3 weeks that,
Right,
you know, but the street over, all of their potholes have been filled, why
Yeah.
haven't mine?
Right,
You know, who
yeah.
lives there? And those
you
are
get
the
that
little
all,
things.
exactly.
And you know for a fact, you know, nobody lives there.
Mm.
I tell my neighbors, if I ever get elected, don't expect any better treatment on our street. As a matter of fact, it'll probably be worse, because they're not gonna wanna say they're playing favorites.
Right, right. And
It's, you know, it's, but that, I guess that's what makes the world go round, because obviously you're running.
right.
You know what you're getting into.
Well, exactly, and like I said, in 2010, I wish I was part of the council in 2010, but you know what, because, and actually, it made me, I was very, very pleased with my results, running for the first time, running against an incumbent, and I know some of the things where, you know, that I had to do, like, within this term now, and I'll tell you, it just seems that it wasn't, 2010, sure, we had some challenges, but I'll tell you, in the last 4 years, the challenges have escalated, and it's a war now, basically, because there's just so much to deal with. And is it going to be easy? No, it's not gonna be easy, because you take a look, like, we're into our reserves and snow removal, for instance, okay? There's gonna be challenges in years to come, but you know what? With a good council and a good mayor, and we pull ourselves forward, I know we can do it.
Yeah, this is a transition term. May not be a term when people get long-term careers in politics.
No,
But
exactly.
But somebody has to turn it.
Well, exactly. And you know what?
It's gotta
Yeah,
turn.
you have to put your head on the line. You have to make decisions. And you know what? You're not going to be everyone's friend. And you're not, everyone's gonna say, oh, you know, that Paul Stopciati, he's a great guy, and, or, you know, there's gonna be guys saying, well, you know what, he screwed that up, or whatever. But you have to be prepared to take the criticism and take the accolades at the same time. Like, you have to weigh them out. But that's the only way it's going to happen. You have to lay your head on the line and have the consensus of the rest of the council and the mayor, and work together and communicate. Communication is number one. If you can't communicate, don't even bother getting in there.
Or it's not gonna be worth living here.
Exactly, exactly.
And it's not old timers like us that are gonna be leaving, it's gonna
Right.
be the younger people that say, why do I wanna stay?
Right, right. And you know what, we were talking about, we were speaking to some people about taxes, how high our taxes are here. Well, you know what, there is a challenge here on our taxes, there's no question. We have elderly people living in their homes now that have an old Inco pension, they've been retired for 15 or 20 years, that can no longer maintain their home.
Yeah, especially.
That's why our
Especially
seniors are out there looking for apartments.
Especially if it's a survivor pension.
Right, exactly, you know. I know when my dad retired, maybe 20 years ago, and my mother still has my dad's pension, and there's not much there. Thank God that my my dad left my mother with, some funds that she can keep the home and keep herself going, but otherwise, she'd be in the home herself. So that's what we're looking towards now too. So that's why our tax base, we have to be very careful, because our population is aging, and we have a lot of people still in their homes, but they're saying now, you know what, we can't afford to live in our homes. Our taxes are too high, our food consumption is too high, our everything, water bill, tax bill, hydro bills, like our hydro is probably gonna be doubling now, within the next year or so. So there's so many barriers that are coming into effect now.
I know. And no apartments for people to move to.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be, so why we do this?
Exactly. It's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, but no, that's good. So anything we haven't had a chance to touch base on before we wrap it up?
Well, no, I just want to mention that it's nice to see that there's a lot of excitement out there within, with council and mayor. We have more people coming in for mayor, more people coming in as councillors. That's great, but you have to be prepared to put the time in, the effort in, and you have to have strong shoulders. And once again, you have to put your head out there. Whether you're doing the right decision or you're not, there has to be decisions made, and we have to move forward. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm very pumped up about it. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to work hard, and I want to make a difference within our community.
Great. Your website, electpaulstopciati.com.
That's correct.
And everything's on the city website. Again, this video will be uploaded, so it'll be linked from the Learning Clinic radio show site, probably linked from your homepage someplace. So that, and I know that with Facebook and social media, all of these video interviews are being made aware through social media, and we're showing people where they can access them. So over time, hopefully, we get a nice bank of information and resources that people will be able to access, and they'll know
very good
what's going on. So.
And I have to take my hat off to you, Robert, because I tell you, it's very important that we have these debates, we have these learning clinics, and give the people a choice out in our community. And it's very important, and we need a great voter turnout this time. We have a referendum in hand, so I encourage everyone out in the community to vote in 2014.
Great. Thanks for coming in, Paul. I know you're going to be in again. I extend an invitation. We'll keep coming back and doing updates, and time will tell. October 27th is going to be here soon.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Great. So again, stay tuned to the Learning Clinic. At 2 o'clock, I will be having another guest in. Candace Larson is going to be coming in and actually talking about a Rotary Club exchange that she's going on to Croatia. So here's one of our young people that's reaching out internationally. 96.7 FM, it's CKLU. Stay tuned.
Beautiful.